and welcome to the Enchantress Society with Tia Johnson, a place where you get to be you, where you get to unlock your magic in a sacred and judgment-free zone. The Enchantress Society is your witchy sisterhood of enchanting women who guides and supports you along your spiritual journey from the mundane to the magical. I invite you to sit for a spell as I interview guests and spill the spiritual tea on how we can create the magical life we deserve. Hello, Enchantresses. All right, so wrapping up the Tia favorite series, I am going to be giving you the books that I read, some of them because it's a lot. All right, so I'm going to be giving you some of the books I've read when I first started my journey, and I also use these as references. So I really love these books because they stand the test of time. Now, before I dive into that, you know what I'm going to say. If we are not connected via Instagram, let's do so. There's usually some surprises in my Insta stories and all that jazz. So let's get connected. My main Instagram is cosmic_witch_goddess. And for the podcast, it is enchantress_society_podcast. All right. So I would love to continue the conversation there with you. Let's get connected. All right. Favorite beginner books and resources. These aren't in any particular order. However, the first two are the one I'm about to tell you is the very first book. And the next one, I believe, is the second book. But for sure, this is the first one. And you've heard me talk about this book several times, and it's worth repeating. Messages from Spirit by Colette Baron-Reid. This book is so great to help you understand your life path number, oracle. I'm just going through the chapters here. Just the various ways Spirit communicates with you. I'm going over some of her chapters, 1111 Signs and Angels, Fortune Cookie, Stones at Speed, 27 Universal Unfoldments. So this is such a great book. And I even referenced this book in my Cosmic Goddess Mastermind. And I read this book so many years ago, like well over a decade ago. And she signed it. One time she came to Philly. So this is a great book, Messages from Spirit. Also, I'm going to list all the books in the description. So no worries if you're just like, what did she say again? What? Oh no. Next is Book of Shadows by Phyllis, Curott, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. And this is about her journey into wisdom of witchcraft and the magic of the goddess. This was when I was actually first introduced to the goddesses and raising power and the power of the circle, the power of a coven, a community. And it's a real life account of the author having a very successful career in music. I can't remember if she was an attorney or something. She was on the business side in the music industry, if I remember correctly. I believe it was the music industry. But anyway, she goes through these changes and she meets these women and they all embark on this journey, and it's so beautiful. And she talks about the vision she has, initiation she went through. It's just such a beautiful book. And I think about this from time to time. I'm going through the pages now. I have so many pages bent on the side, which is shocking because I'm a book lover. I can't believe I actually bent the pages, but yeah, it's just so many great things. And it's funny because when I was going over this book the other day, I saw her mention Goddess Oya, and I just talked about Goddess Oya and my dear friend Abiola's Maru Mystery School. And Oya is a very strong African goddess here to shake shit up, among other things. So it was very interesting to see that great book. And this made me think, so while you're reading these books, take your time. And while many of these books have so many pages. I love that these books are here for us to take our time and digest. People ask me often about resources, and I love that. I was talking to one of my witchy entrepreneur friends a little while ago about the current state of just not just the witchy community, but just how people approach their studies. And I realized a couple of things. It depends on our zodiac placements as well. For example, Virgos like myself, we're not going to outright ask, hey, do you have a reference for this? We are going to try to find it ourselves. And after a month goes by, we still can't find it. We're going to finally begrudgingly ask, do you have a resource for this? Meanwhile, a Gemini might say, okay, does anyone have a resource about this? You know, you might be more open to ask right away as opposed to going to Google and doing research. So I realized that's people's style. Two is that we also realize that some people don't do much research, and because there's so many 60-second videos and things like that, so it looks like this is a very simple, easy process, and that's true to an extent. However, you can't craft your own practice if you're just consuming a video. I don't care if it's a 12-minute video or a 60-second video. Books, I don't care, even if you're listening to an audio book. Books have so much knowledge that it can really take you through a journey. And that's what is often missed, is that journey, because of where we're at now with the instant gratification, which can be cool. Sometimes we just need that instant answer. But the books really help you to think, be with your thoughts, and really see what works for you. Because now there's so many gatekeepers and so many things going on. And we were just wondering, where are people getting their information from? The people who are new to the spiritual community, new to the witchy community. We're just thinking, who's telling you that you have to receive an oracle deck or a tarot deck? You could go buy one. Who's telling people this? So I encourage you to constantly read, constantly consume information, and go on that personal journey, so that way you can compile your own information and really understand it for yourself. So with that being said, I have next the Wicca Handbook by Eileen, Holland. And this was a book that I had the vision of it first. This is that cauldron that you see on the book, like the color and all. I had a vision of it. And then one day I went to Borders, and this book fell off from the shelf. Like, it was just there, and I was just looking through books. I'm like, oh, snap. So very witchy indeed. And this was before I really understood if something does that, pay attention to it. So this is great. So I did start off learning about Wicca, and then I just expanded on my own. But here's when you learn about the watchtowers, you learn about invocations, you learn about sacred spaces and altars, dream work and divination, meditation, past life. This is a really good book to dive into and then reference over the years. There's charts in here about numbers. So it's really, really important to understand. I'm just going through the chapters here. It's really important to understand what's swirling around us, what's going on. Why do we have that dream? Why are we seeing that color? What's up with that number? So this is a really good book to help with that. It even talks about astral projection, the evil eye. It's a really good book. All right. So that's the Wicca Handbook. So you don't have to be Wiccan, but it's a great place to start. All righty. Moving right along. The Hidden Power of Dreams by Denise Linn. This is a great book to help you, as it states, to understand the hidden power of your dreams. I became a Gateway Dreaming certified coach through the Denise Linn program. And this references so much about really just understanding ancient dreamers, dream incubation. So getting yourself ready for dreams so you can remember them, receive messages, dream recall, symbols in dreams. It's just such a great book to help you understand your subconscious, your dreams, and how it plays in real life. Years ago, when I used to take calls on the podcast, I used to give a guide for people to go back into their dreams to solve problems. And sometimes the dreams were a dress rehearsal for your real life issues. So it was really cool when I guided people through that. Next is protection magic. Some people think that protection magic isn't necessary. They think it's bad. Oh no, don't do it. That can't be further from the truth. It's just like when you have security system for your home. You lock your doors, you lock your car door. Anything that you love, you protect. You love yourself, right? So you should protect yourself. People do send negative energy your way. Sometimes they mean to do it. Sometimes they don't mean to do it. Other times there are energy vampires. You know them. You go to talk to them. They suck all the oxygen out the room. Everything has to be about them. They somehow flip the script to you being a bad guy and they can't do what they want to do. You're thinking, how the hell did we get to this point? So this practical protection magic by Eileen Dugan is great to help you understand protection magic, help you to perform protection magic, and also give you the heads up of what psychic vampires look like, just different vampires. And also she talks about clairaudient, clairvoyant. So the clairs, I'm just going through the chapters now. Emotional vampires, yes. So she talks about emotional vampires, passive aggressive emotional bullies, psychic vampires, warning signs. So she really dives into what to look out for and how to protect yourself. Okay, that's super important because there are people out there who want your energy. I just created a reel about protecting your energy. All right, next. I love this book. Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. This is the expanded and revised edition. I have so many tabs in here and I don't even know what's going on. I can't even flip the pages. This is so cool because it breaks down the genealogy of the plants. It tells you its properties, its element, its gender, magical uses. And I use this time and time and time again. And also note that it's okay if you don't remember everything. I mean, it's really crazy to want to put that pressure on you. And this is coming from a Virgo. Okay. So, it's okay to use references to come back and think, oh, wait a minute, what is cinnamon good for again? Oh, lemongrass. Okay. Yeah. Chili pepper. Oh, okay. I could use that for that. I forgot about that. It's okay. That's what these books are for. You can use it time and time again. All right. So that's Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. Next is Eastern Body, Western Mind, Psychology of the Chakra Systems as a Path to Self by Anodea, Judith. And I hope I pronounced her name right. This is another book I have tabs in. So what I love about this book is that it breaks down the chakra system and it helps you understand the shadow side of it. If you aren't exercising your voice, if you aren't speaking up, if you aren't expressing your needs and your wants, you're going to have throat issues. It's inevitable. And it's so interesting when I think back because when I was younger in my 20s, I had bronchitis time and time again. And, when you had that nasal drip and things like that, what happens? You tend to lose your voice. And what I realized also was that while I was speaking up in other areas, the areas that I also really needed to speak up in, I wasn't for various reasons. And now I can't even tell you the last time I had bronchitis. All right. Before it was, you have nasal issues and et cetera. Yeah, of course. But keep in mind, this is where discernment comes in. Sometimes it is just a medical issue. And then other times it's something that manifested. Okay, so I had to get nasal surgery because I had a polyp, I had a deviated septum. but also I needed to speak up more. So whenever I was having those issues where I had a hard time speaking, I would get sore throat, my throat be itchy. Sometimes it's a combination. You get medical attention and you heal on a spiritual level, because we are multifaceted, multidimensional beings, right? If something's happening on one end, it's definitely happening on another end. We see this even with our houses sometimes. If there's something going on in the basement, chances are there's something going on with our lower chakra, the lower regions of our body, our subconscious, all that. So once I was able to address all that, I can't remember the last time I had any issues with my throat. Okay, same thing when I used to have crazy migraines. Yes, I went to a doctor for help. But once I combined that with meditation and I worked on my third eye, it all went away. So for some people, you can solve it at the spiritual level, and others, you need medical attention and spirituality. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't think that it's only spiritual and you don't need any medical attention. Yes, go check it out. Okay. And keep in mind that we heal on multiple levels: the mental, the physical, the spiritual. You had to get your mind right. And you had to attend to your body, and you got to be spiritually attuned. So Eastern body, Western mind really breaks this down. Okay. And it has beautiful charts in here. I'm looking at, I just underlined so many things. And I reference this now. And even in the Cosmic Goddess Mastermind, we're going to be talking about certain chakras. And I'm using this as a reference. So this is a very great book to help you understand what's going on with your body, your thought, how you're feeling, all that jazz. So that's a great book. Now, the next book I'm going to tell you about has nothing to do with spirituality, but has everything to do with embodying the person, who you want to be. And that is Fabulosity by Kimora Lee-Simmons. And it states here what it is and how to get it. So this book, wow, let me see if I can tell you when this was published. I read this book so many years ago. So this was published in 2007. Okay, so this was before I started my business. I was reading this. Okay. Some takeaways from this book is she's teaching you how to show up for yourself. So many times I see on social media women having to tell toxic men or remind toxic men, hey, we don't dress for you. We don't put on makeup for you. We're doing this for ourselves because we want to look a certain way. Like, yeah, we want to look cute or like a rock star, whatever the case may be, but we're doing it for ourselves. And so in this book, she talks about self-belief and confidence, work and power, independence, image and body, romance and lifestyle, positivity and sustainment. Like, I learned about the power of accessorizing. At first I thought, oh, who cares? Who needs that? But there's power in that. Okay. The way you walk, your posture. I'm just going through the book. It's such a great book. And the very things that I do now that you see on Instagram or how I show up is because I read this book. I mean, like, hello, Kimora Lee-Simmons is an icon. Also, so I just thought about this because I flipped the page and one of her perfumes is called Goddess. So this brought back a memory. When I was in college, I did a travel study. At the time, I was a finance major, and we did a travel study to London. And we went to, what is that bank called? We went to Lloyd's. We went to, oh my goodness. Hold on. I'm going to look it up for you because I see the image of this one bank. We went to HSBC. We went to so many places and talked about finance and things like that. So it was also during spring break. And I had just purchased, and that bottle, I think, was $90. Like, I purchased her perfume. It was brand new. And this was at the beginning of, not the beginning, but this was early on when the airports were telling people you got to put your, belongings in a Ziploc bag. And so I go, okay, well, I didn't have like the Ziploc bag that you just zip over. I had the one with the ties. I'm like, oh, it's whatever. It's a bag. Who cares, right? So I get there in line and we get to one of the checkpoints and the lady goes, you can't take that on board. But she inspected my bag. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, this needs to be in like this, like a bag like this. I'm like, well, it's clear. You can see it. She confiscated my perfume. It was brand new. When I tell you I wanted to fight that woman, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And she had a smirk on her face because I knew she was going to keep it. Then the people who were in front of me, they had a bottle of wine that was in the little receptacle container. I'm just like, so you got 2 bottles of red wine and my perfume. You're going to have a good night, huh? I was so mad. So she said, well, you can check it in your bag. And I'm thinking like, oh, like, are you going to like figure that out? And I said, well, like, how are we going to do that? I would have to step out of line. I turned around. Again, this was spring break. When I tell you that line was so long, I'm like, I'm not stepping out of line. Like to check my bag. The bag's already been checked. Are you kidding me? So I did not have my baby fat perfume. I was heated. I was just like, I hope it just like spills all on you. And I hope you don't get a chance to enjoy my unopened bottle of baby fat perfume. I don't remember if it was Goddess or what. It was one of her perfumes. I was heated. So that led me to discover Baron-Reid perfume because we went to Harrods and I ended up buying her perfume with the crystals in it. And I still have that. It comes in this little box and there's crystals in there and I have a little card with a number on it. So, it's one of those things. That was my little story time. I was heated. But yeah, so, she's Kimora Lee-Simmons is all that. So it's a great book and there's beautiful pictures in there. It's great. All right. How to win friends and influence people. Again, not a spiritual book, but we're focusing on being well-rounded. And what I love about this book is it really tells you how to have like a really good conversation with people. So my pop taught me so much about being adaptable and having conversations and so forth. And this book also helps with understanding people and understanding how you show up and, to influence people without being creepy and harmful, because we all are influenced, right? Colors play a part in people's branding. The environment, when you go to a spa, is very soothing and they're playing music. They're influencing you to be calm and relaxing. That's good. We don't want to influence someone to be manipulative. That's not good. So this is an excellent book. Even if you read it, reread it, go back, review it, brush up on some skills. So I just love just understanding psychology and just how we communicate with people and just how to win, like who doesn't like winning, just to get people on board. Okay, next. The Wiccan Year. And this is by Judy and Nock. And I like this because it helps you to understand the cycles of the year. Okay, and the pages are really cool. They're like rigid at the end, so it feels like a nice piece of parchment. And it's just a nice reference to help you remember the times of the year, like Samhain, Yule, Beltane. And what you will see too is that you are already in tune to the natural order of the seasons. Just like, for example, spring is designated in March or April as the beginning, but it already feels like spring because we already had our first marker leading up towards spring. So you're already feeling that. When you feel that sense of newness, we're already in tune. All right. Remember, a lot of these dates now, like Christmas, Easter, some of those dates aren't at the actual dates, but that's okay. That's a conversation for another day. But what I'm saying is we already feel that newness. That's why even with the lunar year, people say, oh, my new year is, that lunar new year date, not, December 31st leading into January 1st, which is okay. But just to understand, why do you feel like you need to do spring cleaning and it's not quote unquote spring? Why do you feel like you need to sleep more and hibernate in the wintertime? And why do you feel more filled with zest and energy during the summertime? You want to go out and do things and wear different clothes and, be expressive. There's energy behind it. And this book helps you to understand that. The Map by Colette Baron-Reid. Can you tell I adore Colette Baron-Reid? Finding the magic and meaning in the story of your life. This book asks you, where are you in life? You may have heard me reference neighborhoods you don't want to be in, like Shouldville, Couldsville, Woodville. I get that from this book. She's asking you to put yourself back together, because there are pieces of us due to life that we abandon, cough, cough, our inner child, cough, cough, our desires, our needs, and our wants. And so we have to go through certain neighborhoods to gather ourselves. But also we have to see if we are in a neighborhood where we don't want to be, and maybe we've been in there too long. Okay. Some of the chapters include, where are you? When are you? Are you living in the past? Are you living in the future? Who's guiding you? Your magical allies. Why are you on this adventure? Which is a great question. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you here right now at this place and time? Working the magic. And where will you go from here, as some of the titles? And these are things that we need to look at, because if we don't, then sometimes we feel like we're just moving, but where are we actually going? All right, last two books. The Encyclopedia of Crystals by Judy Hall. I have 3 of her books. Just get them. Get anything with Judy Hall. Get her books. What I love about the Encyclopedia of Crystals, is that it's color coded. So let's say you saw a crystal and you're not sure what it is, whatever, but it's purple. Okay, go to the blue and indigo crystal section. And of course, it's not going to have every single crystal in here, but this has helped me, this and Crystal Bible 1 and 2. And also explains a little bit of the science behind crystals and things like that. So it's really helped me to remember the different shapes of crystals, what that means, how they can help cleansing and activation. So I use this as a reference, and then I visit the map every now and then just to check at where and when I'm at in life. Okay, do that check-in. Then I think about, okay, what's the cycle of the year? Like where are we at right now? Because I could be in my personal spring season and maybe it's early summer. Okay, so you see how these books start to work together, and now I can communicate a little bit better because I'm learning how to win friends and influence people. All right, the final book, I use this all the time, and there's so many tabs. It's just a rainbow of tabs and sticky notes. The Solitary Witch by Silver Raven Wolf. So this is her book of shadows for the new generation. It states here, the ultimate book of shadows for the new generation. And like, I just love the way it looks. It's my favorite color, dark red. It looks very gothic-like. And it's just a boatload of references from zodiacs to astrology to goddesses and so many. Actually, I'll tell you the parts of the book. Okay. So there's 5 parts. Part 1 is Shadows of Religion and Mystery. Part 2, Shadows of Object and Tools. Part 3 is Expertise and Proficiency. Part 4, Magic and Enchantment. And Part 5, Magic and Real Life. So you see the progression there. And I've just used this so many times. I use this as a reference for my first book. And she helps you from everything, from buying a car to a house, car repair. Let's see. Understanding more protection spells, environment, charms, invocations of the god and goddesses, runes, scrying. So you pretty much get it. It's just an endless amount of information, and it's wonderful. So all these books, their titles will be in the description of this episode. And again, what I love about these books is that it helps bring everything together. It provides a sense of relief and understanding. And in doing so, now I have been able to operate even better in this world. not dismissing certain things, but really looking at it, not just at the surface level, but excuse me, several levels below, because a lot of times we miss that part. Sometimes, yeah, we can take it for what it's worth. And that's when discernment comes in. And that is another muscle that we use and practice over time so we can understand that. But in doing this, reading about other people's journeys, and then you see how your journeys overlap. When you focus on protecting yourself spiritually too, you will see just how, I want to say easier, but life does happen, but you will see how much in the flow you will be in things, and you will see how much you shed over the years. Not it disappearing, because what disappear can reappear, but I mean vanish. Just the things that aren't adding value to your life, the conversations that don't hold any weight, working on other people's timelines, that is going to fade away. And you will craft the life that works for you. And reading these books has helped me develop strong foundations to get to where I'm at. So when it is winter season and I'm feeling more tired, I feel like I need to be wrapped up in a warm heated blanket, that I need to do certain things. I understand that now. I don't think that I'm lazy. I don't think that anything crazy is going on. Why? Because I also regularly get my blood work done. I get checked up. I get my hormones checked. So all that's cleared. Okay. Once that's clear and done, now I can look at it. Yeah, you know what? I'm in tune with the seasons. I'm in tune with my personal cycle. All right. So check out those books. Take your time with this. Again, like I said, some of these books are from 2007. All right. And that was during a time when I was going through my healing journey. So I love to read. Reading all these books, sometimes I was reading multiple books at one time. That's second nature to me. For you, you might spend a month on one book, and that's okay. That's okay. We're all on different paths. You just have to get started and retain information and apply it and review and move on, and you will win. All right. I love you. I am sending so many blessings your way. Remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time, it's going to be March. The next episode will be March episode. Oh my goodness. Whew, time's flying. Thank you so much for tuning in, Magical One. Let's keep in touch. Join the VIP email list by going to tiamariejohnson.com. And as always, I'm sending you lots of love, many blessings. I'm rooting for you. And remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time.